The country are rejecting a government-issued video that blames Democrats for the shutdown. Wichita's Eisenhower Airport also among those refusing to play it. Digital anchor Keith Grant in the newsroom with why Eisenhower Airport saying no. Keith.
Christy, Wichita's airport says it will not show that video because it violates its own policy, which prohibits airing political messages. The video shows DHS Secretary Kristi Noem blaming Democrats for the government shutdown. Now, TSA agents have been working without pay for 2 weeks. The video is supposed to be on screens as you go through security. The video, which we will share part of here in just a moment, that takes sides with messaging similar to President Trump, that Democrats brought on the shutdown because they will not join Republicans.
However, Democrats in Congress refuse to fund the federal government, and because of this, many of our operations are impacted, and most of our TSA employees are working without pay.
In a statement to 12 News, Jesse Romo, he's with the Wichita Airport Authority, says it values TSA's role in ensuring the safety of passengers, but it will not play that video because of the airport's policies limiting the display of political messages. Christy, some airports across the country have also pointed to the Hatch Act on saying they won't play the video because the law limits political activity by federal employees.
Politics is everywhere we go.
It really is.
All right, Keith, thank you.